Good morning. It is Thursday of Food Allergy Awareness Week. And you know what that means, folks? It is Advocacy Day. And I'm Jason Linde. I'm the VP of Advocacy here at FAIR. And with me today, we have two very special guests. Stacey Saiontz and her son, Jared, join us today to talk all things FASTER. FASTER Act now, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is now known as Public Law 117-11. And some of that success, or a large portion of that success, is due to the two folks I'm looking at right here. Stacey Saiontz is the chair of our grassroots advocacy subcommittee. Her son, Jared, by the way, is no slouch in the advocacy department. He was recognized by the New York State Allergy Association as their leading advocate last year. I had the pleasure of watching that celebration online. They both have been after it and trying to get sesame labeled for a while. Jared does have a sesame allergy. So before I get going with the questions, welcome guys. We're really happy to have you here this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our guests before we get started?
We're just excited that everyone's here for Food Allergy Awareness Week.
All right. So why don't we start from the beginning? You know, back on April 14th, we all had a little bit of a pleasure, right? We thought at around noon, the FASTER Act was going to get voted on. And well, lo and behold, it became a little bit later in the afternoon when the actual vote went down. So tell me, what was it like watching the vote on this bill that we've been working on for about 2 years? What was it like seeing those numbers post up? What were you thinking?
It was very exciting because they kept going, yes, 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 yes. There's almost no no's to the law. And then finally it was to the amount that we basically knew that it was going to be passed and going to be sent to President Biden. And it was very exciting because after all these years working on this law to get it passed, it was going to get passed, and kids with food allergies, including me, who are allergic to sesame, will no longer have to worry about sesame in their foods.
Stacey, anything to add on
that?
So
we were so excited watching each member of the House go up and vote in favor of it. It was very, very exciting. Every time we'd hear another yes, we'd cheer. And yes, I mean, it's so exciting because not only is sesame now the 9th allergen, but this also puts food allergies up on the map with other diseases, because now, the Secretary of the Health and Human Services is going to have to do a report each year about potential treatments and cures and research. And so this is really exciting.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. And, Jared, I want to turn back to you. Just personally, what does this mean for you? I mean, I know you've had the sesame allergy. I know you've done a lot of work with some of the other allergies you're on, but what does this mean on a sort of an everyday basis for you?
It means a lot because now I won't have to call the companies to find out if there's sesame in foods, and I'll just look at the label and know if there's sesame or not, and I won't have to worry anymore if I'm gonna eat something I'm allergic to or not, and I'll just know if it's in it or not.
Yeah. For me, this really came home starting working here during Halloween. I was stunned, candy corn, and then of course those crazy little pumpkins. They're just both have sesame, and I was just, that example, and there's others like it, protein bars, Kind bars. People think of sesame as more of a sort of an Asian ingredient. And the fact is, it's a popular ingredient with a lot of foods. And what about you, Stacey? You've managed Jared's allergies for a long, long time. You're not only a fantastic advocate, but a fantastic mom. What does this mean for you on just a really practical and might I also say emotional level?
Well, it's so exciting because I know now that it will open up the world of so many different products, such as hot sauces, barbecue sauces, other types of products that, all had a label that would say natural flavors or spices. And so every time before I bought something, I would have to call the company and it's a whole process to get through, and it's a lot of time. And sometimes the company would ultimately say it was proprietary. So now I just know that I'm going to be able to go to a grocery store and look at products and see if it has sesame in it or not. So it's so exciting. And I also think it's just so exciting for all of these, anyone who has a sesame allergy, because it really opens them up to a whole new world of foods. And also when you go to restaurants, a restaurant would source foods from different places. And if it didn't say sesame on the label, the restaurant wouldn't know. And now restaurants will know whether or not what they're serving has sesame. So I think it's going to make the world so much safer, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, no, I'm so delighted to hear that. Yeah, the opening up and trying foods that, were off limits because they just had assorted flavors or natural flavors and spices. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Let's take a step back though. I mean, this journey that we've been on, is about a 2-year journey. And, the sort of the leading nonpartisan organization here in Washington, D.C., the Congressional Management Foundation, says that on average, it takes about 7 years for a bill to become law. 7 years is 3 sessions of the House. Many bills take even longer. The credit card Bill of Rights took over 10 years. So, while it took us 2, let's go back to last March. We were all together. It was our first fly-in. It was a week before the pandemic changed the world. Talk to me a little bit about, and Stacey, Jared, either one of you, both of you, I'm just dying to hear from you on this. Talk to me about sort of the beginning of the journey for us back in March of last year, and then work me along the way a little bit. What did you see, and when were you starting to think, hey, this could maybe happen?
Well, I have to say, FAIR's organizing the fly-in was amazing, because there were so many advocates of all different ages, especially children, from all over the country. And I just think that that's what made this bill so successful, because for each of these children to share their story and use their voice to each of their congressmen and senators, I think that's what really pushed this forward. And so I know Jared was really excited to be in DC and to share his story with his representatives. And I just think that started the whole process. And then when we were home and FAIR organized the virtual fly-in, I think that was actually even more successful too, because there were people who couldn't have flown in. And since we were all stuck at home, so many people were reaching out to their representatives and writing letters. And I just think that the more people who use their voices, the easier it is to make change.
Yeah. Jared, what about you? What'd you think about coming down to DC last year? And then this year you had a great meeting with Congressman Mondaire Jones. So tell us a little bit about both.
Well, for the virtual flying, I was so lucky to be able to fly in to use my voice. The real flying to advocate for a safer world for food allergies. So that was super lucky. And for the virtual fly-in, I felt like it went very well, and like it was harder. I mean, it was easier for them to understand like how hard it is for us with sesame allergies to see if sesame is in food or not. And like there are so many more people who were able to talk to convince them. And I felt like it went very well.
Yeah. Yeah. I was really impressed that you guys were able to get Congressman Jones, your new congressman there in Westchester County, on board as a co-sponsor. That was some heavy duty lifting. And I love the fact that you took a picture of the meeting. I mean, frankly, that's how government should work, right? The constituents are meeting with their members or staff, and, sharing their opinions. So when, let's go to the magic day itself, let's go to April 23rd, Friday. When did you think, okay, all right, we passed the bill? I know I was waiting. Stacey, I know you were waiting too. We were eager for the president to sign it. But then talk to me a little bit and share with us all about what did it feel like the moment you heard that the president had signed 578 into law, and it was now public law 117-11.
Well, I was getting in the car, like coming home from school, and my mom told me that President Biden had signed the law, and I was so happy, and I felt like it was coming because I knew he would sign it, and I was so happy, and ever since then I've been smiling. knowing that I'm gonna have a safer life.
Oh, that's wonderful. Stacey, what about you?
Yes, I feel the same. I just feel that we are so lucky to have so many amazing advocates in our community, led by you, Jason. And it's been such an amazing effort. And to see all of these children, especially using their voices and helping us to make change and to make the world safer. And so as soon as I heard that President Biden signed this, I think I've been smiling ever since that day. I'm just so happy. So
Yeah.
thank you. And thanks to everyone who played such a part in this effort.
Yeah, it was truly a group effort. I mean, when we had more than 500 folks sign up for the virtual fly-in, look, myself, John Hoffman, Jeremy Irwin, who we all work on the advocacy team, we all lobby. We can only cover so many offices. And oh, by the way, there's tons of people like us in Washington. Folks like yourself, you cut right through the clutter, and you're the reason they're there, right? And you're the people they have to report to. And so the fact is in children, as you've mentioned, young men, young women, you're the best messenger, because you're able to put it in a way that a member of Congress and staff most understand. Well, look, I will say this: the adult beverage I had that night tasted a lot better than any I've had in quite some time. And I just want to say thank you. We all made this possible. But truly, it was the voice of the people speaking up and speaking out on something that was a matter of life and death. And so thank you. We are grateful for this, and we look forward to continuing our work together. Anything else you want to add before we sign off on this Thursday of Food Allergy Awareness Day?
Well, I just want everyone to know that everyone can be an advocate, and to use your voice, whether it's just to educate a friend or a teacher or someone in a restaurant. Everyone can advocate to make the world safer. And so I hope everybody continues to do so, and the world will become a safer and more inclusive place.
That's exactly right. Jared, any last words, sir?
Well, it doesn't matter what age you are to advocate. It's more, I think it helps more when you're a kid, because they like to listen to kids more than parents, because it's actually happening to the kid sometimes, and they like to hear the kid saying what, and it's hard to say no to a kid.
It sure is. Boy, as a parent, don't I know that? Anyway, look, Jared, Stacey, thank you so very much for spending some time with us today. And most of all, thank you for being fantastic advocates for our community. Have a wonderful day and the wonderful rest of Food Allergy Awareness Week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.